And Jonathan Ross, he's a foreigner, and he's in Europe somewhere. We'll never find him.
Yeah, he's on a plane.
Stay tuned. We'll be
Coming
back.
up next, he's composed 5,200 songs, written 43 books, and started TV Talk, the versatile Steve Allen.
So tell me, what do you think of The Tonight Show now, after all these years?
Well, I think it's about 40 years too late. No, seriously, I don't know anybody who ever did a bad job of a talk show, because human beings have been talking now for several million years. And I literally think that there was some guy sitting on a tree stump in the jungle a million years ago, and two other guys were sitting on the tree stump to his, on the log to his right, and they were just talking. And that's all there is to a talk show. What's so tough?
Welcome back to the Alternative Talk Show, which today is certainly the alternative, even to us.
Different.
This is the Alternative Talk Show, and you've had a chance to sample Mr. Allen's great talent in helping us sort of improvise a little pitiful song over there.
My pleasure.
Welcome to Live from Queens. It's such a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you, Ed.
There he is.
Thank you very much.
And nice seeing you again.
Yes, good to see you again, dear.
Now, Mr. Allen, I have to start with a clip of The Tonight Show we have from the
All right.
original Tonight Show, and I want to ask you about those days and some of your emotions around that. Can we take a look at that clip, Mark?
Okay.
And then you can tell me exactly when this was from.
Well, anyway, in case you're just joining us, this is Tonight. And I can't think of too much to tell you about it, except I want to give you the bad news first. This program is going to go on forever. Boy, you think you're tired now. Wait till you see 1 o'clock roll around.
Boy, that was either prophetic or cavalier on your part to say it would last forever, because it did.
It seems so, but it was actually neither. I was talking about the fact that it was not only a 90-minute show that the viewers around the country were about to see, but that we had already been on the air locally in New York for 15 minutes. So that's all I was talking about.
Was just the longevity of
Yeah, because in those days most shows were 30 minutes long.
Right. So in those days, when you were launching a show that had a new format, as it were, which is now a format that's much imitated, obviously, and every day part on television, what was it like for you, in terms of your critical reception? Because, you know, Tom Snyder's just started, Charles Grodin started, you know, immediately the reviews are in, the votes are whether they'll make it or not. How did they receive you?
We were very lucky indeed. First of all, the show started locally, and nobody paid that much attention. By nobody, I mean the critical fraternity. They were busy doing what, I don't know. And therefore, the show became a hit without their participation. And because it was such a successful experiment, then they put it on the full network. And at that point, the verdict was already in. We were successful. So we never had any problem with the critics.
And nowadays, do you think if you were launching something as new as that was, do you think you'd get as much of a chance as you got back then in this day and age of television?
No, there would be, as you've already suggested, immediate yeses and nos, and picking small details and so forth. We live in, as I hate to use tiresome words like mean-spirited, but we do live in a mean-spirited age. And there's nothing that gets raves anymore, even if it gets largely complimentary comments. They look for something to find fault with.
Indeed. Now, in addition to being credited with, you know, starting the original Tonight Show and really exploring that format, you've written, I read, over 5,000 songs.
Yeah, I wrote my 5,000th on the Tonight Show recently with Jay. He gave me four notes at random, and I wrote a song on that.
So what's that average per week, song-wise?
Well, it comes to about 30 or 40 a month.
30 or 40? It's one a day.
And how many books?
Well, the book you have on your lap, if
Is
that
number,
is indeed...
what number book is this?
What lap is that? That's
Why, thank you,
this
Mr. Allen.
is number 43.
This is 43. Wow, this is an interesting book. Now, obviously, you have a lot of reflections, and you've done a lot of things in your career. Mr. Allen, is there anything that you haven't done yet that you're still going to do?
No, I have no more plans. All my schoolboy age ambitions have been realized, and then some. So I don't plan to go into brain surgery or become a Buddhist or anything that would be quite startling.
He's the kindest man to people who are just starting out, and I know because I crashed an audition of yours, or rather a rehearsal with a young comedian, and you let us perform.
Kenny Ellis.
Yes. Then you booked us, and then I don't know what happened to the show, but you made us feel really good. And did you say that basically you could make a cucumber a star?
I know what you're referring to. I didn't say I could, but what I meant
was... someone could if you put it on television.
I'll make the point by repeating it, if I may. If tonight Dan Rather suddenly said, we'll be back to Washington News in a moment, and took out of his pocket a cucumber and put it right there, and we got a tight close-up of it, and then he took it away and said, now back to the news, all America would be saying, what was that last night? Did you see Rather with the cucumber? And then if Ted Koppel did the same thing, and Peter Jennings, we all know what the media is. We're in it. by the end of the week, that cucumber would be the most talked about thing
Yes.
in the United States. There would be new rock groups called the Cucumbers. There would be dirty references to it by Mr. Stern. There'd be all kinds of interesting things about cucumbers. It's nothing but a damn cucumber,
Right.
but the media inflates and enlarges and glamorizes.
And now in New York, you're in town because you're working on a smaller project that you're off-Broadway at Symphony Space in The Mikado, one of
Mikado.
my favorite Gilbert and Sullivan. You are The Mikado. Is this, at what point does Jane Meadows, your beautiful and talented wife, say, honey, could you stay home for a while?
At any point. She likes to travel, and she's almost always with me on my road trip, so she likes the whole idea.
Well, continued success, best of luck in The Mikado, and you're going to play us out as we go to our commercial.
All
If we
right.
haven't used you enough, Mr. Allen.
That's okay. I can be had.
Thanks so much for coming.
Boogie woogie.
Just what do you do with those portobello mushrooms? Well, restaurateur extraordinaire from Zoe's reveals the mystery behind the mushrooms. Next.